Good day, students. Today is the lecture number 13, the belles lettres style. The belles lettres style has the following substyles: the style of poetry or verse, epic poetry, the style of emotive prose, and the style of drama. The first substyle we shall consider is verse. Its first differentiating property is its orderly form, which is based mainly on the rhymic and phonetic arrangement of the utterances. The rhymic aspect calls forth syntactical and semantic peculiarities, which also fall into a more or less strict orderly arrangement. Both syntax and semantics comply with the restriction imposed by the rhymic pattern, and the result is brevity of expression, epigram-like utterances, and fresh, unexpected imagery. Syntactically, this brevity is shown in elliptical and fragmentary sentences, in detached constructions, in inversion, asyndeton, and other syntactical peculiarities. The substyle of emotive prose has the same common features as have been pointed out for the belles lettres style in general, but all these features are correlated differently in emotive prose. The imagery is not so rich as it's in poetry. The percentage of words with contextual meaning is not so high as in poetry. The idiosyncrasy of the author is not so clearly discernible. What most of all distinguishes emotive prose from the poetic style is the combination of the literary variant of the language, both in verse and syntax, with the colloquial variant. It would perhaps be more exact to define this as a combination of the spoken and written variants of the language, inasmuch as there are always two forms of communication present, monologue and dialogue. It follows then that the colloquial language in the belles lettres style is not pure and simple reproduction of what might be the natural speech of living life. It has undergone changes introduced by the writer. The colloquial style has been made literary-like. This means that only the most striking elements of what might have been a conversation in life are made use of, and even these gave undergone some kind of transformation. Emotive prose allows the use of elements from other styles as well. Thus, we find elements of the newspaper style in Sinclair Lewis. It can happen here. The official style in the business letters exchanged between two characters in Galsworthy's novel The Man of Property. The style of scientific prose in Cronin's Citadel, where medical language is used. But all these styles under the influence of emotive prose undergo a kind of transformation. Passages written in other styles may be viewed only as interpolation and not as constituents of the style. Present-day emotive prose is to a large extent characterized by the breaking of traditional syntactical designs of preceding periods. Not only detached construction, but also fragmentation of syntactical models, peculiar, unexpected ways of combining sentences, especially the gap sentence, link, and other modern syntactical patterns are freely introduced into present-day emotive prose. Works of creative prose are never homogeneous, as the author and his personage may offer different angles of perception of the same object. Naturally, it is the author who organizes this effect of polyphony, but we, the readers, while reading the text, identify various views with various personages, not attributing them directly to the writer. The views and emotions are most explicitly expressed in author's speech. The unfolding of the plot is mainly concentrated here. Personages are given characteristics. The time and place of actions are also described here as author sees them. The author's narrative, unfolded plot, personages of given characteristics, the time and the place of action. The authorial narrative supplies the reader with direct information about author preferences and the objections, beliefs, and contradictions. Entrusted narrative is used in an effort to make the text more plausible, to impress the reader with the facts of authenticity of the described events. The writer entrusts some fiction character with the task of telling story. The writer himself that hides behind the figure of the narrator. Dialogue. Personages express their mind in the uttered speech. In the exchange of remarks, the participants of the dialogue, other people of their action expose themselves to. One of the significant forms of the personage self-characterization dialogue, which allows the author to show him in the process. Interior speech of personage, it allows the author and the readers to peep into the inner world of the character, to observe his idea and view. Interior monologue, a rather lengthy piece of text dealing with the main topic of the character, thinking, offering past, future actions. Short inserts present immediate mental and emotional reactions of the personage to remark or event by characters. Stream of consciousness technique especially popular with their representative of modernism in contenting literature. The author tries to portray the purely associated character. Represented speech or reported speech serves to show either the mental production of the character thinking, represented uttered speech, represented inner speech. Dialogue is one of the most significant forms of the personage self-characterization, which allows the author to seemingly eliminate himself from the process. Also form which obtained a position of utmost significance in contemporary prose is interior speech of the personage, which allows the author to peep into the inner world of the character, to observe his ideas in the making. Represented speech serves to show either the mental reproduction of the character. The style of drama. The stylization of colloquial language is one of the features of plays which at different stages in the history of English drama has manifested itself in different ways, revealing, on the one hand, the general trends of the literary language, and on the other, the personal idiosyncrasies of the writer. Thus, the language of plays is a stylized type of spoken variety of language. The analysis of the language texture of plays has shown that the most characteristic feature here is, to use the term of the theory of information, redundancy of information caused by the necessity to amplify the utterance. This is done for the sake of the audience. The language of plays is entirely dialogue. The author's speech is most entirely excluded except for the playwright's remark and stage directions. The language of the characters is in no way the exact reproduction of the forms of colloquial language, although the playwright seeks to reproduce actual conversation as far as the norms of the written language will allow. This variety of belles lettres style has used the norms of the literary language of the given period. So 16th century drama is much different from 20th century drama. Thus, the belles lettres style embraces numerous and many-sided genres of imaginative writing. The purpose of the belles lettres style is not to prove but only to suggest the possible interpretation of the phenomena of life by forcing the reader to see the viewpoint of the writer. This is the cognitive function of the belles lettres style. The main function of this style is aesthetic function, because aesthetics is one of the most important elements of human culture. Other functions are educational, informational, entertaining, and evaluative. Stylistic peculiarities of this style are imagery, unity of artistic form and the contents, completeness and integrity, artistic imagery produced by speech concreteness, emotionality and evaluation. Substyles of the belles lettres style: poetry, prose, drama. Poetic genres are ballad, ode, pastoral, sonnet, elegy, epigram, etc. Genres in prose: a story, a novel. Genres in drama: comedy, tragedy, drama. Language means are phonetic means, sound repetition, onomatopoeia, alliteration, consonant at the beginning of the neighboring words. Rhyme and meter in poetry, rhyme in prose. Vocabulary, priority of concrete words as artistic speech concretization. Unlimited choice of vocabulary, including non-literary means, the use of figures of speech or lexical stylistic devices as a unique textual system. Grammatical means, in morphology, a variety and wealth of stylistic effects of morphological forms and categories. In syntax, a variety and wealth syntactical constructions, colloquial speech stylization, means of expressive syntax, inversion, parallelism, antithesis, and parcellation. Compositional textual devices, three-part compositional canon, introduction, the main part of the ending with a more complex model of prologue and epilogue, deviations from the canon and their stylistic importance. The system of stylistic devices, systemic or use of imagery, textual, developed, and simple non-developed metaphors, metonymies, epithets, similes, hyperbolas, litodas, puns, oxymorons, zeugmas, different in form, contact, and distant repetitions, ordinary, anaphora, epiphora, framing, anadiploses, chain, refrain. Intensification of the total aesthetic impact of the language means of the text. Thank you. This is the end of the lecture number 13.